Hi folks, this is Rajat Bansal again, and I'm back with another video on stuttering and stammering. The topic that I've chosen this time around is how to manage stuttering and stammering in a workplace environment, right? Most of my fellow folks, fellow colleagues, uh, fellow stutterers and stammerers work in a company, are in a corporate job, and they often face this problem of interacting with their colleagues, their peers, their bosses, uh, and making sure that they interact in such a way that they communicate their thoughts, their opinions openly and freely. Uh, while obviously all of us are stammerers and stutterers, right? So that is, I thought, over the years I have with some techniques that I'm going to talk about in this particular video, and those techniques have obviously given me a lot of confidence. I won't say overcome, but I would say have been able to manage well the situation around me at my workplace, right? So I thought I'll go ahead and share my views with you all and see if that can be of help to all of you, right? So without wasting a lot of time, I will probably jump in those four techniques or those four behaviors, if that's the right word, which has helped me over a period of time, right? So the first one that I would always talk about is smile, right? In my last video as well, I talked about smile. Smile is infectious, guys, right? So whenever you are entering in a meeting, whenever you are entering in a boardroom, whenever you are starting a conversation with anybody, start that with a smile. Wear a great smile on your face. 2 points. One, smile is infectious. So when you smile, the other person is bound to reciprocate with a smile that will break the ice and will help you feel more confident about you and about the overall conversation. Uh, and that would result in an easy onset and then a smooth speech, right? So has worked wonders for me. I would encourage you to start doing that. At least try it. Start your conversation with a smile. Wear a big smile on your face, and then see what the results are. I'm sure it's going to help you immensely. The second point that I would like to talk about is breaking the ice overall, right? Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, right? So, for example, if you have a tough conversation in a day or two with your colleague or your peer or your boss, I would a tough conversation or just an overall conversation that you would want to make with them. I would before that conversation, let's say 2 days before, 2 days prior to that conversation, or probably prior to that conversation, 4 days prior to that conversation, try to break the ice with that particular person, which could be through an informal chat, and you can talk about weather and you can talk about a lot of different stuff, right? But again, this point has worked great for me. Like, for example, if I have to ask for a raise with my boss, and that is, let's say I have fixed up a meeting with him, let's say, which is around what, 26th of December, something like that, right? I would start uh, I would start doing some sort of an informal conversation with him around 20th of December or 19th of December, or probably before that, so that when I get into that difficult conversation, or when I get into that more formal conversation, I'm not that stressed, right? So when you have informally chit chatted with somebody about the weather, about the overall surroundings, about, let's say, some of your other colleagues or peers, when the tough conversation starts, uh, you don't, at least I don't feel that tightness in my body. It just feels like that I'm talking to a friend, which makes the conversation easy for me, right? Might not work in all the situations, but if you have an opportunity to start an informal conversation with a person prior to your formal conversation with him, and again, it could depend on when you get the opportunity. It could be 4 days prior, could be 3 days prior, could be 5 days prior. Do that. Again, trust me, it would help, because when you get into that real tough conversation, you would not feel like that you are talking to this person for the first time. And when you're not talking to that person for the first time, you would be more relaxed and you would handle the conversation much better than you would have done that uh, prior to that. The third point that I wanted to talk about, and if I can quickly look at my notes, yeah, the third point that I would like to talk about is easy onset, right? There are certain words that all of us stammer, and there are certain words that all of us feel comfortable on, right? So, for example, in my case, some of the challenging words for me are the words that start with the letter K, right? The words that start with the letter CH, right? Again, challenge. Speaking challenge is a challenge for me, right? So I would, in all my conversations, I would try to not start my conversation with these words, right? Uh, and obviously, you can, if you are speaking in English, you're speaking in Hindi to in your meetings or with your colleagues or with your peers, you can always tweak certain words here and there, right? So try and start your conversation with the words that you are more comfortable on. In my case, all the vowels A, E, I, O, U. I'm comfortable in speaking vowels, so I would probably start my conversation with anything with starts with letter A, any word that starts with the letter A, any word that starts with the letter I, any words that start with the letter E. Sometimes when you uh, say that first sentence on the trot without any stutter or stammer, that sets the tone for the remaining sentences or the remaining phrases or the remaining conversation, which again helps me a lot. So try to, and I'm sure all of us know our speech well, right? So try to find out words that are your friends. Let me put it this way, and try to start with your friends. Try to start with the words that are your friends, and then go to the words which are not so good friends, right? I'm sure your friends would help you to go through the words that are not so good friends, right? So start with something which you are more comfortable on, and then gradually progress on something which you might not be that much comfortable on, right? The fourth and the last thing that works for me is confidence, right? Whenever I get into a conversation, whenever I get into a board meeting, I just think of I just think of the fact that whatever happens in that board meeting, I still have I still have a lot to look forward to in my life, right? So none of the board meetings, none of the interviews, none of the meetings with my boss will is ever going to define me who I am as a person, right? When you get into that mode, when you get into a meeting or a conversation with that sort of a mindset, trust me, you will do much better than you would have done otherwise, right? Don't think of that as a life and a death situation. Whatever comes out of you, whatever comes out of that particular meeting or a conversation, you are still a champion, right? You are still a champion in your own self. You still have a lot of things to look forward to. You still have a lot of things to work on. You still have a lot of stuff that makes you happy. You still have a lot of stuff where you excel, right? So none of these conversations should ever define you as an individual. Nobody would blame you, or nobody would take you as somebody who was not able to communicate. Maybe for those 5-10 minutes, people will take that he was not able to communicate, something like that. But then eventually, if you practice, if you do that stuff over a period of time, you will gradually better you will gradually become better at that. Trust me, I've done that. I've done that, right? Initial conversations used to be difficult, but then over a period of time, repeating the same conversations, you will get that confidence, and then you will be a great speaker and a great communicator, right? So uh, the last and the most important tip, approach everything with confidence. Do not let some of the failures that might happen in some of those conversations define you. Even if you fall, stand up, show up. That's the mantra. Trust me, that's the mantra, and that's the mantra overall in life. Fall down, stand up, show up. One day you will definitely do it, right? Do not let what happened in a particular conversation or what happened in 4 or 5 conversations define what you are, and do not beat yourself up for that particular thing. Chin up, be confident, and trust me, you are going to do it. So those were the 4 tips that I thought I'll talk about in this particular video. Do share and subscribe in case you like my videos, and let me know in the comment section if there's something else that you would like to understand from a stuttering, stammering, and a confidence point of view. I'll be more than happy to respond. Till then, goodbye and have a great evening ahead. Thank you. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.